on our last episode, I'm opening the project, we added music to it, and we learned about licensing music content. We also we also properly licensed the content that I'm distributing on the show to show how you would license something that you created yourself so that other people can use it, if you are into that sort of thing. So if we hit play right now, we get our cool soundtrack, or maybe not. I heard it play for a moment. That was weird. Huh. What happened there? So I go to the game manager and... oh, it went away. We didn't have this problem last time. I wonder why we're having it now. But I think I know what it's related to. I think for some reason... yeah, I know what's going on here. I wonder why this wasn't a problem before. So, remember, Game Manager is a singleton, and we have it set up so that in Start... we're going to have to fix a bug before you can even see what happened on the last show. But that's good. We'll find out what's going on here. So, what I think is happening is I think we're creating a new Game Manager because the previous Game Manager is not determining that it's available yet, and then something else is asking for an instance, and then we're creating one, and then by the time the one that we put in the scene gets activated, the one that was requested already has taken its spot in the instance here, and then we're destroying the one that was in the scene. That sounds really complicated, but we're just stepping on our own toes is what's going on here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go into Project Settings, Script Execution Order, and we're going to put Game Manager to happen before default time. So if it's below default time, that happens after. If it's above it, that happens before. So you read this top-to-down reading order. So Game Manager happens before default time. Default time is whatever's not specified will happen in a unknown order. We don't care about the order. If we care about the order, we add it to this list. So I'm going to hit apply here and see if that solves our problem. I'm going to hit play. Yep, that solved our problem. That was it. So, and it's probably good practice to have singletons set up above the default time, especially if you're initializing them in the start, just because you'll have situations like this. We theoretically, like in typical computer science, like if you were making a C# program without Unity and stuff, you probably would use a constructor, which would allow you to bypass some of these problems. But in Unity kind of owns the constructors on things. It does a lot of constructing stuff in the background. So if you override a constructor, it'll cause problems in Unity. So if you are a computer science major and you're just learning Unity here, avoid using constructors. If it's a mono behavior, you can use constructors if it's your own C# stuff, of course. But if it's a mono behavior, don't use constructors. So let's hit play and see actually how the game looks. So we're going to hit any key to start. And there we go. We can move left and right. And we've got these pillars that come up. And when we get hit, we die. And it keeps moving things in the background, but our scores don't go up anymore. And it says game over, press any key to quit. And it brings us back to the title screen. Music continues playing throughout the game, so there's no like breaks when you stop things. That'll probably change. We may add some more tracks. Who knows? But for right now, that's how it works. So what we're going to be doing today is graphics, and what I'm going to admit right now, I'm not an artist. So we're going to be stylizing a lot of stuff. I may not be able to produce like what you would consider great looking stuff, but we're going to give it a shot. And with practice, anything you can get good at anything. So even me, I could probably become a good artist if I keep up at this. So we're going to be kind of learning together. Also, I'm going to be using Gimp, which I've used before, but I don't use very often because I want this show to be cross-platform, and I want it to be as free as possible. I normally use Pixelmator, which is not cross-platform, it's on Mac, and it's not free. It's cheap. It's like $30-40, but which is cheap compared to like Photoshop and stuff. But Gimp is free, open source. You can modify it if you want, and you can do cool stuff with it. So let's first get Gimp installed. So I'm going to search the internet for Gimp, and we're going to go to gimp.org. And Gimp actually it has GNU in the title. That's what the G stands for. And we talked about licenses. GNU is another type of license. And this license is the one that if you make modifications to the source code, you want to share those modifications. So I'm going to go to Downloads, and it says Mac OS. That's nice of it. What if you're on Windows? I'm assuming this automatically changes based on what type of browser you are on at the point. Because I know Gimp is also available on Windows and Linux, so I think that if you are on a Windows machine, this will automatically show the downloads for you. So we're going to download Gimp 2.8 for Mac. And actually, I've already downloaded it so that we don't have to do that. So here's the Gimp installer thing, and we're going to open it, and there's Gimp. We're going to drag it into our applications. On Windows, it probably have an installer. If it doesn't have an installer, it'll just be an exe in a zip file or something, and you just double-click it and start going. Put it wherever you want, double-click it, go crazy. So I'm going to open up Gimp, and Enter on Mac OS does not open things, it renames things. One of the things I do not actually like about Mac OS. I think it's Command O to open something. Isn't that, like, bizarre? So Gimp is loading, and it says this may take a while, so I will trust it on that. I've got a spinning beach ball here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I do. And what we're going to be doing is kind of making the art style on the game. I'm going to be switching to the level itself, not the title screen. So we're going to go to level 1. And yeah, we'll save the changes that we made. And actually, let's update those changes real quick on source tree. So we're just going to drag this up here. We're going to hit commit, and we're going to say fixing bug with music not playing because of a race condition involving our game manager singleton. Push commits immediately to origin. Alright. And so let's see if how Gimp's doing. No, now I feel like I've lost Gimp. Did it make a picture somewhere when I wasn't looking? Is it on another desktop here? Oh, that was my cheat window. See, I do look at things occasionally before an episode. Is it here? Where are you, Gimp? Huh. I'm going to assume that it's just still thinking, because I can't find it anywhere unless it's over here somewhere. No. I didn't minimize it. Alright, well, yeah. If I bring up this thingy? Gimp not responding. Not a good sign. What's the old adage? You get what you pay for. I'm going to force quit this, and I'm just going to run it again. I think that switching between applications was too much for it right at the moment. I shouldn't have done that while it was trying to think. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to leave it on the screen and not mess with it. It's looking for data files. How are you doing today, Jeffrey?
I'm okay.
All right, cool.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I actually have been having a really good day. This is looking promising. I see the bar moving. Yes, we have Gimp. All right, sweet. We got all these like bars and stuff. So, is this an image? Can we manipulate this image? Can I paint on this? No. What is this?
You need to create one.
Yeah, but what's this window for?
For when you do have an image.
Oh, okay. I'm going to create a new image. So as I said, we've kind of got a techno soundtrack. We chose a kind of something that would fit kind of a dark, brooding, abstract-y thing. we're going to be kind of troning this up. And so what's better than grids? Like, I like grids. And one of the things I really like about grids is you do not have to be an artist to make a grid. So let's start with something basic. So I'm going to create a new image. We're going to make it very small. Let's do 8 by 8. 8 by 8 pixels. And advanced options, I don't care about any of those things. Oh, fill width, let's do transparency, I like that. And what else do we want to do? Yeah, that's good. And we'll hit OK. And, oh, there's our 8 by 8. So I'm going to make an assumption, hope that Command plus will bring me closer. And I was wrong. It won't.
It's down there, though.
Oh, it is? Okay, perfect. We'll just pull this up to 800%. Can we go higher? Let's do 1600%. Okay, good. We can go even higher. We can't just select that. Oh, maybe I can. If I add it, though, it seems to add to the list. That's nice of it. All right, cool. So here's our 8 by 8. It looks like it's way more than 8 by 8, but if we bring in the pencil tool and GIMP has a lot of shortcuts in common with Photoshop. One of them is if you hit left bracket, like the one with the curly brace and the left bracket, it will go smaller, and if you press the right one, it'll go bigger. So we're going to change the size down to 1 pixel, and I'm just going to start drawing some things to see how it looks. Okay, cool. So we're drawing with black. And we can change the colors. Where colors live on this thing? You probably know this better than me, don't you? Oh, right there. Big old colors. Has our own picker. Looks like a really competent color picker. I like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just make a white grid with a transparent background. The reason I'm doing it this way is because so we can switch between foreground and background colors, so you can have like 2 colors to just work with. So we got black and white. But the reason I'm doing it as white is because we can recolor it then in the game very easily. White tints very nicely. And so I'm just going to draw a line here and a line here. And this is our whole texture. When this is repeated, this will create a grid, because what happens is this will wrap and this will wrap, and we'll have this nice grid. You also could do it in the middle. The reason I do the sides is just because when you're dealing with powers of 2, you're always going to have this problem of you have to use basically 2 lines to make it center, and that bothers me for some reason. It wouldn't. You could still do it off center, and it would look exactly the same, but I just don't like the way that it looks in the file. I know that sounds really dumb. So save. We're going to save this. And I'm just going to save this onto the desktop for right now, and we'll just save it as an XCF just so that we can go back to it later if we need to. We're going to call this grid. And then we're going to export this as export as, and we're going to choose PNG.
It's already on PNG.
Oh, it's already on PNG? Oh, perfect. They knew. PNG is a great format. So we're just going to save it as grid PNG. And actually, I'm going to call it grid 8, which represents the size of the grid. So, export. Wow, there's a lot of options. Save resolution, save creation time, save comment, sure, whatever, I don't care. Save background color. Didn't know there was all this stuff you could put into a PNG. All right, cool. And compression, PNGs are always lossless, right? This is just a compression cost, right? Do you know this, Jeffrey?
I have no idea.
I'm going to double check. PNG compression level GIMP. Yeah, there we go. What does it say? Find compression. JPEG files. I don't care about JPEG.
Wait, can you go back a couple?
Yeah, I can go back a couple.
Because it said since compression is not lossy.
Okay.
So that's probably PNG.
Okay, so yeah, this is probably PNG here. Yes, PNG. It's not lossy, so yes.
And
Ooh, is that a fill?
What did it say about the reason
Let's
to use
see.
it?
All right, so
If
the
it
only
takes
reason to
too
use a
long
compression
compress.
level less than 9 is if it takes too long to compress a file on a slow computer.
Howdy, y'all.
It's just as quick no matter the compression level. Hey, Phil, how's it going?
What's going?
It's Philip Wilson. Everyone, give him a round of applause. Yay! All
Wait,
right.
I'm not supposed to cheer myself. Boo!
You're not supposed to boo yourself either.
Oh, crap. I can't do anything right.
All right. So yes, we definitely want to use the highest compression level. I would imagine most programs default to the highest because computers are freakishly fast these days. So
Yeah, my phone is more powerful than anything I had during high school.
So, and also considering this is an 8x8 PNG, I don't think we're going to spend much time on the compression. So, export. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to lose any information on it. So, we export it, and hopefully on the desktop, there it is, grid 8 PNG. So, it
What
looks
do we
like
have
a
now,
white
by
square.
The way? I feel like I missed so much.
Yeah, it feels like it's been weeks because we usually do 2 a week, and now I'm doing 3 a day, so it feels like just forever between seeing you guys.
Yeah, that's what
So,
Oh, I just booed myself on the stream.
that was classic timing.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go into level 1 here, and I'm going to drag grid 8 in here. We're going to put it under textures,
Textures.
and let me show you, Phil, what we've
Yeah, I'd
done
like
so
to
far.
see what's happening.
So here's what we got. We've got scores. It saves the scores, the high scores. We've got a
An any
music that we've
Oh,
licensed
yeah, okay,
properly.
Kevin MacLeod,
Yeah.
I like those pillars raising up out of the ground, by the way.
Yes. And when we die, it says game over, president, you can quit, and it brings us back to the touch screen.
Nice.
We've got a singleton that is our game manager. We piggybacked onto that for the music for right now. And we actually fixed a problem with the singleton race condition just today. So,
Fantastic.
so
Now I feel like I'm a little bit more caught up.
yes. And actually, the episode where we did the licensing, we also set up the license for what is the GitHub? We set up a license for our own files using Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0. So,
Oh, neat.
Yep. So, we've got this grid 8. This is our new grid that we put in here. I'm going to switch back into level 1 now that we've done that brief introduction. And I'm going to go ahead and format true color on this because it's 8x8. It's not going to cost us very much in memory. And we're going to change the filter mode to point so that it doesn't look like garbage.
380 bytes or 340 bytes. Is that correct?
That's what it says. That seems high, honestly.
It does.
But I guess 32 bits, so it's just got a lot of depth information.
Well, I mean, it's not even a
We're
K.
only using a little
It's
bit.
not
of
even
it.
a K.
I mean, technically, we only are using 2 bits for the color,
Yeah,
so
it's not even a K.
or 1 bit for the color.
Not even a K.
So what we're gonna do? I'm sure there's more than a K on the disk, though.
Well, maybe, but that doesn't matter.
So we're gonna drag this onto our ground here. Actually, let's do the manual way. I'm going to create a material. Last time we just dragged it in and had it make it for us. So we created a material. We're going to call this grid 8. I just want to show you how to do this in case you have specific things. I'm going to put it in our materials, and then we're going to select our texture, and it's going to be, we're just going to search grid, there we go, 8.
Oh, it's tiny.
So tiny. So small. So now we can drag this onto our quad here. We can actually call this quad ground. And right now, we didn't change the scaling, so we've just got this thing that looks like our texture, but very large.
A large 8x8 texture.
So, and actually, if we hit play, eventually we'll probably... Oh,
Whoa.
yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
We're cruising.
Whoa. That actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah, that actually does kind of look cooler than I thought it was going to look.
I will say one thing, though. Maybe not the best for epileptics.
No, nothing is.
Aww.
You can't help those people.
Aw.
That's not true.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't try.
Okay, well, I'm not going to. I'm not sure if you've seen Proton Pulse, but Justin and I do our best to kill epileptic people.
That is true.
And I feel bad about it, but
but not.
but I
that
like
bad.
not bad enough to get rid of flashing lights in my games. So grid 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the tiling on this. So if we go to grid 8 here, we can change the tiling. Let's do 100 and 100 and see how that looks. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Now,
what I do notice though is some
yes,
weird...
you're seeing some we've got some really, really harsh issues here. And this is, again, an isotropic filtering problem. And you can see the mosaic problem when we zoom in. We get these moire patterns and stuff. And part of this is the patterns. Part of it is actually MIP mapping. But actually, the MIP mapping is also solving some of the problems. Believe it or not, it could look worse. Mm-hmm. So we're going to click on this, and we're going to do kind of... point filtering, that's right. Wait, let's see. If we go to advanced, can we actually... No, we can't, can we? You can't use anisotropic filtering along with point filtering. I forgot about that really ridiculous limitation. Alright, let me see what it looks like. So if we do bilinear, it'll be all blurry. That actually still might end up being better, though. So if we do bilinear and we crank up the aniso level...
I thought it was a distance. No, is it ani?
So anisotropic helps a lot, but unfortunately we can't do it on point filtered stuff. I kind of want crisp lines.
I thought there was something else.
So we can let's see what happens when we play with MIP maps. Let's play with things. Let's click checkboxes. So we're gonna hit apply. There we go. Now this of course has the other problem of if you just render it nearest neighbor, you get like that scintillation thing going on.
Oh, it's kind of hard on the eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with we're gonna have to bilinear this, and so we'll have these like smoother. It has kind of a cool style to it too. No, don't do it too much. We'll do 4. There we go. That's a lot better.
I like the point filtering better.
You like the point filtering better,
I do.
even with all the messiness. But it's so messy. Do you like it like without the MIP mapping, like this?
I would want it with the MIP mapping.
But then it has like those.
I know. Well, what else do we have in linear space? What does that mean? What does that do?
All right, let's try linear space.
That's different. It looks like there's a fog that's happening over a certain distance, and I think that's the problem.
There's no fog.
It looks like a fog.
Yeah, no, it looks like a fog, but we're not using fog.
It looks like a fog.
Here, let's double check. Let's check our fog. Project settings, graphics, not graphics. Project settings, render settings. Our fog start is... Oh, maybe we do have fog.
Yeah, we do have fog. So
you think it's the fog?
We could change it to
there,
0.
It's 0.
Well, let's set the fog end. Oh, yeah, the fog end wouldn't really matter, would it?
Here, let's do 1. Yeah, we
It's
don't...
not the fog.
Oh, fog's not check marked. There's our fog.
Oh, jeez.
0.01. Turn on fog. That's you can't see it in the video, I'm
now,
sure.
Now, a fog would hide this issue, but it's not.
Oh, if we want to make an N64 game, yes, we can use fog. Here, let's do this. Let's make it an N64 game. We're gonna set the view distance to
50.
No, 25, 20, and turn on the fog, and
turn up the
crank
fog.
that stuff up. There we go. There's N64.
Oh God, you're right.
Actually, it has kind of a cool style to it.
I kind of like it, actually. You know what you could do? You could play with the fog, actually.
Yeah, let's make the fog like red.
Make the fog either red or like a black or something like that. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, if we make the fog... Let's try black.
Let's make it less dense, too. Oh, yeah, black fog might look really cool.
Let's make it less dense. Let's just try and cover that ugliness.
0.6 will be good.
0.5.
Oh,
there we go.
We couldn't have it 0.6.
No, we couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
That is kind of neat.
And as they come in, they become white.
That's kind of cool. So maybe we can play with the fog some. And we aren't making an N64 game, but it's kind of neat looking. We could make the distance a little bit farther, probably.
I was reading some documentation on, like, certain BlackBerry devices we can't use fog. And I was like, when I was reading it, ironically, I was like, well, we never use fog, so that won't be a problem.
As we now play with fog.
Yes, so,
I don't know, it has kind of a neat look to it.
I do like the look, honestly. They had a workaround, too. They had some shader that you could do for fogging, kind of, so...
okay.
So we might be able to look into that. All right.
You
Well,
can also have the ground actually just be black and have a big plane under the character that goes to where the fog starts now. That changes the offset of the grid
like what you
as
mean?
you're
Like,
moving, so that it looks like the grid is actually moving. Like
Well,
the player's
it already
moving
is
on
doing
the
that.
grid, but-
like that's actually what's happening. So if we go to the scene right now, oh goodness, the fog appears in here. If I turn, wow, we have to deal with the fog in the editor. Okay.
Oh, that's almost a deal breaker.
Yeah, that is almost a deal breaker. All right, but yeah. So where's our player? Our player's like somewhere. Player main camera. There he is. Yeah, you can see that
okay.
that he is not moving. We're just moving the.
So you already have that. So you could make the plane smaller, and then put a black plane on the outside, and it would look. I mean, the ground would look the same as the, as you having it coming in from the fog, but then the pillars wouldn't be fogged in the background.
Oh, I see what you're saying. To prevent the, I actually kind of like the pillars being fogged, though.
I do too.
And you wouldn't have issues on Android.
That's true. That's true. BlackBerry. I think we may have to just live with it because honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I hadn't really played with fog all that much, and we could change the fog color in game.
Yeah, there's someone.
There's a lot we could do with
there's
this.
There's one comment that says, "I agree with the fog. Keep it for sure."
Okay, all right.
That was 30 seconds ago.
But this allows us to have like different level looks too, without even writing like a cool shader. I was actually planning on doing a
shader
at some point a screen space shader for some stuff, and the effect I was going for literally kind of looked like this. So I'm like, maybe we don't even need to have a shader for that. So yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty neat, actually.
I'm gonna keep it a black for right now. Although,
It's
God, the fact that it shows up here just makes me want to cry.
Do we have mipmaps on still? Probably turn that off and save 20 bytes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 20 bytes.
Woo!
Party time. All right, let's actually look. If we go to textures, grid 8, get rid of those mipmaps, apply. Yep, we saved those 20 bytes.
To get the fog out.
Wait, look how
farther.
many bytes we actually saved. So if we generate mipmaps and hit apply, we saved more than 20 bytes. We saved 100 bytes.
114 bytes.
114 bytes.
That's
All
right.
right.
It should be about a third, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We could probably increase the
See,
fog
and actually,
distance
that
a
was
little
what the calculation that was off, because 256 bytes, I wouldn't even said anything. But before I was like, that's a little too high. So
bit. We could probably increase the distance on the fog or the density a little bit now, because
okay.
I don't think it was actually so bad that we'd need to hide it that much.
All right, so increase the
Well, we could increase the... Oh, that actually looks all right.
linear fog, and I don't know what this actually even does.
It's the amount of yards that the fog will...
But see how it doesn't really look like it does anything? Like I'm changing it all over the place?
Well, that's because we're at 0.3. We wouldn't notice a big deal. Or big thing. Oh, no, that's a fog end point.
Yeah, fog start point.
Start point.
I don't know what these values do.
I don't know what they do either.
Maybe if we do linear, it'll make more sense. There we go.
It does make more sense as linear. Whoa.
Oh, we can have we can inverse the fog.
Inverted fog. Boom. Well, actually, we have some interesting options if we do linear fog.
Okay, I think the starting point at 0 makes a lot of sense. And what does the amount mean?
You can see the pillars until they're next to you, so you have to plan your dodge before you would get hit.
Okay, so I think linear uses the Oh, I see. Linear fog start, linear fog end.
Yes, exactly.
You read my words. Why am I? I'm an idiot. So if you're using, so this is basically just two different tweak values. I actually think I prefer the just dealing with the fog mode, yeah, because then just the exponential. So you just do this.
What's a 0.2 on the fog density?
A 0.2 on the fog density looks like that. We could see some.
What about 0.25?
0.25. I think we're gonna need 3. No, 4.
4
seems right at where it gets to the point where it's safe.
3.5. 0.35. 3-5.
3-5. 4. 4A. No. 4.
Okay.
I like 4.
Good.
All right, we'll do 4. So bring it out just a little bit further. And so now we've got some fog. And what else do we want to do here?
More comments.
So we need to fix that skybox at some point.
Oh, there's an interesting comment. Implementing the BlackBerry fog shader might be a good way to introduce the idea of platform-specific changes.
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
I imagine that those are a pretty common part of cross-platform gameplay.
They're common enough that I'm already terrified at what we're going to end up with, even with a simple game. But yeah, no, I mean, if all else fails, we have that one as
Also,
a platform-specific change.
Click on the effects drop-down and uncheck fog in the scene window, apparently.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We want fog.
Thanks, Sigma.
And we'll keep the skybox. I kind of like the skybox in the editor.
But you want fog?
No, I
in the
don't want the
editor?
fog.
You
I want
fog
the
off.
opposite of fog.
Yeah.
Everything else we can have.
Look at that, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's super awesome. All right, so some other stuff. So I want to still got that cloud in the background. I'm going to actually replace the clouds. I'm just going to switch it. I'm going to turn them off. I'm going to go to the main camera here. We're not going to render the skybox. We're going to render solid color. And let's just put it to black for right now. I just want to see what this will look like. This is going to have them creeping up on us, unfortunately. We wouldn't want to keep it this way, obviously.
No.
Actually, no, let's keep it black, and let's change the fog color. Render settings, change the fog color to, like, white.
Oh, this will look really odd.
This has a cool look.
It does have a cool look. And then when you get close to it, it actually renders what they actually look like. That
And then
does
if we
have
have,
a
like,
really cool
red...
look. That's even better. Sold.
See, now we have the red level, we have the blue level, we have the green... We can do levels.
Yeah, this is levels right
So,
here.
I think blue was my favorite.
I like red.
blue does look
Blue
really
looks
cool.
good, though.
I like all of them so far.
What about
But yellow's a bit... it
Yellow
actually
does
still
not
looks
look
pretty
bad.
good. And we can actually play with the other colors, too. Like, the lines don't have to be white, and we can play with that as well.
We should play with that, actually.
So I think we're going to actually end up probably spending less time on GIMP and more time on just pulling colors out of our butts. But at least we got it installed.
Yeah.
So and people
Wait, you
can
got
use
GIMP
it.
installed?
Yeah, we did that.
Wow.
And we made a texture. We made art. Yeah, grid is totally art.
Art.
I'm an art major now. That is such a lie. So
Aha, but you could say you were an artist and not be lying.
art-ish maybe.
No,
but
you are an artist. Just
I'm an artist.
Your media doesn't necessarily have to be drawing something. You
True.
could be an artist and just make code.
All right. So let's.
Reminds me of Zoidberg's doctorate is in art history.
Yeah.
Oh. Don't compare me to Zoidberg.
All right. I'm going to save scene, save project, and we're going to check in what we've got so far, and we're going to say art. Grid. Pushy pixel. Push commits immediately. All right, and what are we gonna do? So let's play. I want to play with colors. I want to just do it now. We're doing colors. I probably should rename this to colors and not graphics, but I guess graphics are kind of like a color. So there's a script that I love for Unity that is on the Introtrons.
Is it
part
the
of
HSB?
It is the HSB color. It is super useful. I actually implemented one of these myself at one point. I will spare you the math. It's actually not hard math, and actually you'll see it in the HSB color thing. But basically, Unity typically uses red, green, blue color values, which is what you see in a lot of things where we choose how much red, how much green, how much blue. Hue, saturation, brightness is another way of looking at it, where instead of being a combination of red, green, and blue, it is a combination of hue, which is an angle, even though that sounds very strange, but it basically determines what color you have. And then saturation is how much of the color you have and how much of just white you have. And then brightness is how bright the color is. Mm-hmm. And it's actually it's actually easier to work with from an art standpoint because it's kind of how our brains actually work with color, even though, like, our eyes do red, green, blue. That's the reason that we can trick them with red, green, blue. But our brains kind of actually operate on hue, saturation, brightness, in a way. I know that sounds weird.
Computers like RGB, though.
Computers love RGB because that's how we store it. But,
yep. RGBA,
so
actually.
we're just going to be grabbing
By the way.
this stuff.
Good old Vector 4 RGBA.
By the way, the first time I implemented one of these was actually on iPhone. This was not using Unity. It was just doing Xcode stuff. And it was on Pushy Pixels. And Pushy Pixels was actually, that's
Pushy
my company
Pixels is a
name
little
as
cool
well.
game.
But it's just a little app you can download. It's 99 cents. If you download it now, I'll totally put that 99 cents towards the Kickstarter. But it just allowed you to move pixels around. Originally, it was black and white, and actually, I think I had some random color in there or something. And my partner Chris was just like, no, you've got to use hue, saturation, brightness. I'm like, dude, I don't want to have to write all this stuff. He's like, no, trust me, do it. And he was right. Like,
Should
it just
update this
totally.
for iPhone 5.
What's wrong with it? It won't run on iPhone 5. Oh, I have bars.
Yeah, you have
I have
on
bars.
iPhone 5.
Well, too bad I'm not digging that code up again.
Do it. Dig it up.
Oh, do we have to do it on the show?
No!
Okay, good. All right, so what are we gonna do?
Though, you should dig up the code like at some point. and
Yeah.
update it for iPhone 5.
Yeah, I probably
This is
should.
such a cool little toy.
It's
I really
so
like
hard though. Like, Unity makes life so. I need to make a port of it to Unity, and then I'll feel good about working
really
on it.
do like this little toy.
So I just copied this code from
You ever
the
seen this, Joe?
Unify wiki, and
Yeah, I've seen that.
and we're gonna create a script.
It's fun.
So sometimes scripts are just on things.
Someone made a YouTube video of it in another language, I think.
Oh, cool. Oh, was it the
Really?
French one? I've seen that one.
Maybe.
That was a good video.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Pushy Pixels and you have an iOS device, you should probably check it out. It's a pretty neat little toy.
So I'm creating a new behavior script. We're going to call it HSB color. And this one, it's not just a downloadable file, so you just have to name it the same thing as what it wants. Actually, do we even need to do that? Yeah, we don't even need to do that in this case, but I'm going to do it for... Oh, it says it should probably be hsbcolor.cs. So we're just going to open this up, select everything. Actually, does select all work? Does it work? Select
For once,
all
select
worked.
all works for you.
Okay, so MonoDevelop has been killing me, but at least select all works now. Thank you, developers. Thank you for fixing it and making it not do just completely random garbage. Whew! All right, so Command V, we're pasting this in, or Control V if you are on Windows, and we're going to hit save. And there we go. We have HSB color. And what this does is it allows you to view things, set up a new HSB color. We'll just start using it. You'll get the idea.
Yeah, it's actually pretty.
It's pretty easy to work with. So what we're gonna do is, I just noticed that it's serializable too, so we can actually put it into we can actually put it into editors and it'll work.
Excuse me twice.
So what we're gonna do is let's make a script. We're gonna make a script called create C# script cycle material color, and I'm going to double click this, and we're going to attempt to regain epilepsy.
Oh, sweet.
So this is going to cycle through colors, and I'm just going to have it go through the whole color wheel for right now. So we're going to
Slowly
do
or
public
quickly?
float speed.
Slowly it is.
Yeah, probably pretty slow at 1.0, maybe. Yeah, probably.
No, I think that's appropriate.
Oh, wait,
though.
no. Actually, that's pretty quick, because...
We're going to probably want it less than that.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a cycle through the color wheel in a second.
Yes. Let's do 30. Wait, no, that's way too fast.
Yeah, that's too fast. We have to have a small,
Oh, wait,
incredibly
how
small
about-
number.
Cycle time 30. There we go. We fixed it. How does that fix it? It's like magic.
It is like
Because we haven't written any of the code, so I can decide what this code's going to be
before.
Yeah. So it's
We
kind
don't
of like
have to refactor the code. We just have
it's
to.
kind of like we
make
just
it
have to
work
remember
right
in the
first time.
future to go back and fix the So
Bill and Ted logic doesn't always work for everything.
it works pretty good for this moment.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, it probably works pretty good for a lot of our show stuff too, because we have to deal with the future all the time. By the way, anyone from the future, welcome.
Hello,
So,
future people.
I like the present people here too, and I can actually talk to you guys, but I also like talking to the future guys
Yeah, I guess
occasionally.
the present people are pretty cool.
All right, so cycle time 30, and so we're going to set up
Nah,
another
you're cool,
co-routine
guys.
on this. So we're going to do a... What are we going to do? Start, co-routine, cycle colors,
Oh, I'm probably not going to be here for the next episode.
and we're going to get rid of this update. Oh, you're not going to be here for the next episode?
No, I'm so sleepy today. I've had a long day.
Fine.
Hey, I came here.
Fine.
I'm here, right?
I guess. Yeah, you're here. I can confirm it.
I could leave right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to.
All right, cool.
But I just won't be here for the next
Well, then I'm just going to keep berating you then if you're not going to leave. So, I'm kidding. All right. So we're going to do cycle colors. And this is not going to be a void. This is going to be an I enumerator, which is a thingy. I don't...
I enumerator, yeah.
Just
know.
Unity's going to be working with that thing. We don't have to care about what it is.
Just remember, yield
And
return
actually,
null at the end of an
we're going to put a couple more
enumerator.
values in here. We're going to do public float, hue saturation brightness. Public float saturation. I'm going to default that to 1.0f. And public float brightness. And equals 1.0f. This will allow us to kind of tweak things to be a little bit more pearlescent or something if we wanted to. And all we're going to do is we're just cycling the hue, so we don't care about what the hue actually is. We're just going to start it at something, and then we will cycle through. And so, cycle colors, what we are going to do is float t. We're going to create a floating point value to represent our time. And we're going to do while. This is actually just going to be forever. While true. That means just do this forever. Oh, why did you... You dirty. Hold on. Preferences. I thought we fixed you. It says Microsoft... I need an adult. There's been a... I think it's Gendra. I don't fully remember if it's him. One of the users has been trying to help me desperately fix monodevelop so that it stops fighting me. And every time that we have a solution, it works like once, and then it stops working, and it's making me cry. And it's not his fault. This is monodevelop. Curse you, monodevelop. All right. Well, while true,
Monodevelop gave me very strong Control-Z muscle memory.
yeah, that's what I've been having to deal with. Yes, it's crazy how much it likes to screw up my formatting. So while true, we're going to actually let's do this slightly differently. While t is less than cycle time. Yeah, this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to... This is going to be very similar to what we had for... What did we do before? Yeah, I know I have an error. We're not done yet. Scale over time. So scale over time, I'm actually just going to copy and paste this just for reference reasons. Because it's going to actually be very similar. So, and we want this to be cycle time. And what we're going to be doing is instead of lerping the local scale... We're going to be lerping a value, which we can do in the MathF library. So we can do, let's see, we need a hue somewhere. So I'm going to do float hue equals 0.0.
Not Huey.
Not Huey, although it does have a hue and an E at the end. So hue equals...
Not Hefner.
MathF. I'm not listening to you.
But you are.
You know it. MathF dot lerp. This is just like the vector lerp, except for it's a linear interpolation of just a floating point value. And we're going to
1
lerp
and 2
between
floating point values?
0.0f and 1.0f. The nice thing about the color wheel is at 0 and 1, they are the same color. They're actually both red. Yeah, you knew that, right?
I did not actually.
Yeah,
Not off
the start
top
of the
my
color
head.
wheel on almost all computer systems is
It's red,
red.
really.
So, and float t is going to be t divided by cycle time. So you'll see that looks very similar to the next line. Just we're working on different things, and we still want t plus equals time dot delta time, and then the final thing here is hue equals 1.0f. Actually, I'm going to do it. No, 1.0f is perfect. So we have this going here, and then at the very, very end, I'm actually going to start the coroutine over again.
Yes. Yield return null.
Semicolon. Thank you.
Yield. It's there. Okay, good.
All right. So hue equals math. I'm getting rid of it again just because I want to see what the error is. Because semicolons being missing is like the most. Okay, so unexpected symbol T. That means.
But
so if you
there's-
see that and you're like, I don't see what's wrong with my T,
It's
go the line
before.
above. And
It's always telling you when
I
it
spelled
reaches
T
the error.
correctly.
yeah, I spelled T
It
totally
tells you-
correctly.
It tells you exactly what you need to know. It just says that there's a T is totally unexpected. It expects a semicolon
Yeah, you
instead, except it doesn't say put a semicolon.
Remember, we can put as
Well,
much
it
white
might-
space on things as we want to. That's actually what the semicolons are for. I didn't actually explain this, so I'm going to explain it now. So the semicolons means the end of a statement. To the compiler, when it goes through this stuff, it looks at it like this. I'm not going to do the whole document. I'm just going to do part of the document. But basically, it breaks it down into something that looks something along these
Yeah.
lines. And the whole thing is just this one big line.
Yeah, one big
And so
string.
it knows the difference between what the statements are by semicolons, not by white space. So that's the reason that you have to do those things. As a matter of fact, Python, part of the reason I like Python as a language is because it does care about white space. And this is actually a reason a lot of people hate it, but I don't. It's amazing how you feel when you're like, oh, I don't have to type semicolons anymore. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I
Like-
actually. That's why I
So-
prefer Microsoft SQL to MySQL.
Oh, because you don't have to do semicolons?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we're going to hit play, and this doesn't do anything because we haven't attached it to anything. And but it does compile, so that's a good sign. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So we're going to cycle material. Oh, wait, this doesn't do anything. So
Yeah.
we have this float hue. We're not doing anything with it. So we need to actually do that. So here is where I'm going to put our setting here. We're going to do renderer dot material dot color. I'm not going to optimize just yet. We probably want to do shared material eventually on this, just so that we don't break draw calls. But what we're going to be using this on is only one draw is going to be a separate draw call anyway. So renderer dot material dot color equals new HSB color, and we're going to use hue, saturation, and brightness.
Is that a comma or something?
It's commas.
Yeah, that's correct, right?
Yep. And so what this hue is the hue that we've defined here, which will be between 0 and 1 based on the cycle time. This saturation is the one we define here, which will be 1.0 or whatever we set in the editor, and this brightness will be the one that we have here.
Yep.
So if we hit save, we'll see if it still compiles. Nope, it doesn't. Cannot convert. Okay, so this wants a color, and this is an HSB color. So we actually need to convert this dot to color. This is specifically how you use this thing. You convert to and from HSB color. You can also convert a color to an HSB color. And I think the way that you do that is I'm just going to, this is just temporary. One of the constructors here, color, you can just give it a color, and then that will now be an HSB color, and then you can tweak things, and then you can do to color and get out of it again.
That's pretty cool.
So hit save. And let's put this on our ground. Script needs to derive... Oh, wait. HSB color. That's not what we want to put on there. We want to put cycle... Wait, what is the script called? Cycle material color. There it is. Didn't see it for some reason. So we go to ground. We have cycle material color. And let's just hit play and see what happens. There we go. It starts at red, and it starts cycling over the course of 30 seconds.
That's pretty cool.
And so now we've got, like, colors that change over time.
Can we do this with the fog as well?
We totally can, I think. I've never done it with the fog before, but I can't imagine that that's not accessible in script.
I would hope that it's accessible.
So let's find out. We're going to learn something. So, as I said, never done this before. Fog, color, script, Unity. Render settings, not fog color. There it is. That's all we have to do.
Wow.
So I'm going to duplicate cycle material color. We're going to just Command D or Control D if you're on Windows. There's also probably in the edit menu somewhere there is duplicate if you're a menu person. I'm a menu person. I'm not sure if you noticed. I almost always choose menus, and part of that is because I just do that for some reason, and part of it is because it's good on the show, because even if I forget to say something, someone can catch what menu I did. But where was I going with this?
Menus.
Command D. For some reason, I use it so much. I just have to have that one as a key. Like I use Control and Paste, copy and paste. I use those ones, and I use duplicate. Those are like the three that I use. So and undo, I guess. Although even undo, I sometimes go into the menu. So cycle material color. We're going to change this to cycle fog color.
Not to be confused with cycle frog color.
Not to be confused with cycle frog color. What global RE contains a definition for cycle material color? That's because this should be called now fog color. So we're going to save that. And then we're going to put this onto... What are we going to do with this?
Render a material color to render settings.
Yes.
Fog.
Perfect. This is the only thing we need to change. Render settings. Render settings. Dot fog color. Save. Play. And we didn't attach this to anything. So I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm going to call this one. We're not going to call it fog cycler or anything. I'm going to actually call it special effects. Actually, I'm going to use FX.
Whoa, why?
Just because we might have more than one script that.
But why FX?
Well, because FX. Because I like it. What's wrong with it? It's a great movie. Has anyone ever seen FX or FX2?
No.
I know, no one has.
There's
me
a
sad.
Fox channel called FX.
Oh yeah, there's that
Always
one
Sunny
too.
is on there.
Yeah.
So is Archer.
There was also a movie. It had a modem in it. That was exciting back in the 80s. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put cycle fog color on this thing. And if we hit play right now, they should cycle at the exact same rates, which actually kind of has a cool style to it. We could also do something like we could decide to make this -30. And now it will cycle through and kind of do opposite thing. Oh, wait. No, it won't. Because the way I set this up won't work with negative numbers, will it?
No.
That makes me unhappy. That makes me want to change the whole script.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I only have to change one line, I think.
Only one line?
How the lerp is handled. I'm not sure what the change has to be yet.
Wow.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. All right. Well, I'm actually not going to change it just yet. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add one feature to it. I'm going to add a offset. I'm going to add it to both of these things. So we're going to do public float initial hue equals 0.0f. And what we're going to do is we're going to set hue to be initial hue. Wait, no. We're going to set hue to be initial hue. And wait, that's hard too.
Oh, actually, yeah, since time.delta time, it is going to take more than just the
Yeah. All right, well, we're not going to support that just yet. We're nearly at the end of the episode anyway. I I will just curse my own name at the start of the next episode when we start to fix this. At least we don't have to wait a whole week to fix this. It's going to be tonight, so that's the nice thing. Stack Overflow exception. Oh, I'm doing something bad. Oh, that was because of the negative. We got a Stack Overflow exception because this thing started a coroutine. It says while t is less than or equal to cycle time, and then wait, why would it be such a problem? Oh, cycle time is... So, t is greater than cycle time at the start of it, so we started a coroutine like 30 times. It just was bad. So yeah. So let's hit play. Let's see what we're doing here. Well, let's just make it cycle at a different speed, just so that we can see what it looks like when we get mixtures of colors. It's not going to be great to do this, just because we're going to have colors that clash a lot, but... actually does look pretty cool.
Looks cool.
Well, I liked it when it was the blue and the green.
Yeah, I did too.
That looks cool.
Oh yeah,
right
it
there.
does. And if we wanted to, we could like change the saturation to like make it more of a pastel. And we could do the same on our other thing. But yeah, we can tweak this. This is I'm gonna save it as is. Actually, I kind of like it with the colors changing at different rates. Save project. Save scene, and let's check in all of our crazy stuff.
Just throw it on the player and give it a
All
cycle of
the
1 second.
pretty colors. What do you want to do?
Throw it on the player and give it a cycle of 1 second.
Okay. So we're gonna do that real quick. We're gonna put cycle material color on our hero protagonist. And we're going to set it to 1 second so that he's a disco. There we go. Actually, if we do 0.016, actually that's too much. That will just look like red, I think. Here, does this just look red? Yeah, it does. Haha. That's how math works. So the reason it looks red, even though I've set the cycle time very low, is because this is about 1 frame, and so every frame it's cycling 1 whole unit, which means that we end up back on red every time.
That's so awesome.
But so hold on, 0.016 times times 8. 0.128. Let's do 0.128. Because this will look more like that crazy cube game that has the flashy cube. There we go. Now we have to have epilepsy warnings again. All right, I'm actually going to just put this guy on for 1 second again. Might as well check it in with the cube changing colors too. Notice how it feels like it stays on green longer than other colors? That's because our eyes actually suck. Believe it or
Wait,
not.
really?
Yeah. Save scene, save project. So, level 1, commit, flashy player.
It's because our eyes were made to work underwater.
That I didn't know. It's
I think that was in the
That's
Cosmos show with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
really cool. I actually didn't know that
does
part.
Not surprise me.
Eyes were developed to work underwater, under a layer of water, and then just kind of got modified to work on land. And so they're not nearly as good as must-see
that's the reason-
creature eyes are, and they're not as good as they would have been if they had been developed from scratch to work on land.
Interesting. And so that's actually why we have a green bias in the eyes. And actually a blue bias as well.
Makes sense.
That's cool. All right. So, what are we doing? We're done. Yeah, that's the show. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
So thanks for joining us. Hope you had a great time. We definitely had a great time. And if you have any questions, please email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire. That's DRAKFYRE. And yeah, you should buy Phil's game Robot Alone. And you should, before you do that, you should do Vanguard V.
Vanguard V. Do it.
I'm actually gonna. Is it okay if I stop pimping your thing just for this couple weeks?
I don't
Okay,
care.
for these couple weeks, just Vanguard V.
But I'm going to tell you all to follow me on Twitter.
Yes,
at
do that.
Magmalemer.
Say it again.
At Magmalemer. the little atlote symbol thing, and then an M, and then an A, then the G, then the M, then the A, then the lemur.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. You guys have a great night.
And we'll see you later this same night.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I won't, because
Yeah.
I'm going to go home.
We'll see you. Well, Jeffrey and I will see
And then
you
your
in an
night
hour.
is going to get even better.
And if you're from the future, we'll see you
Oh.
again. If you're from the future, we'll
no,
see
no,
you again.
no, not because you're going home, but because Cooking with Unity will be back on.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't referring to what you were saying.
Anyway, we'll see you in an hour, or if you're from the future, we'll see you as soon as this video's
currently
in.
in the future.
See ya.
Have a good night. Are we bantering?